Hello, Grapperinos, and welcome to another exciting episode of Probably Next Week on Raw. I'm Bryon, and I'm once again joined by a man who, I guess I'll just say it, was whelmed, very whelmed, by Survivor Series War Games. Mike, say hi, Mike.
Yeah, it was very mid. You saw me at the end of the show. I was like, this is one of the pay-per-views of all time. Um,
What an angle!
I was expecting more out of the ending. The ending fell completely flat. Um, and it really just was a massive disappointment. Um,
Yeah,
So the worst part of it, I guess we can use this part of the podcast to give our quick thoughts on Survivor Series.
yeah, sure.
Worst part of the whole show was when at the end there was this tension built up between the face team, right, between Cody and CM Punk, and between like CM Punk and Roman. And at the end, Roman's looking all mad and angry, and you're like, okay, here we go. Here's where Roman, goes off, beats up the guys, and he turns like, tweener heel again. And not only does he not beat them up, he leaves and he goes, I'm not teaming with any of you ever again. Okay?
Yeah.
Like, what are you, like a 5-year-old and you just lost a game of dodgeball? It's like, I'm not playing with you guys ever again. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Where's the vitriol? Where's the angst? It's all just like Roman looked like a complete bitch in that moment, honestly.
I don't know. Maybe he'll explain it on this here next episode. Probably not. I'm kind of more concerned about the hooded guy or the unknown individual who decided to help out the Vision. There are a couple theories going around as to who it might be, and
It could
yeah,
be literally
I
anyone in underneath, and they'll just reveal it as someone else later down the line.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure that's like, I don't know, Pete Dunne or someone doing that for another person that they're revealing later for sure. But yeah, the whole event was kind of mid. The best match, in my opinion, was Dominic Mysterio versus John Cena. I think that was the best match.
It was over. It was overbooked, and they
It
really
was, yeah.
buried Cena for no fucking reason. I mean, I guess they didn't really bury Cena that much because he did fend off literally the entire Judgment Day. But of
Yeah.
course, a white bitch has to betray him, and he fucking goes down like a pile of bricks.
John Cena's weakness is apparently. But yeah, it was mid. All the 40,000 people in the stadium got duped. They got scammed, so to speak. They were given two War Games matches that had no stakes, even little stakes, I guess, but those matches were basic. And I think it'll spark a lot more conversations and hatred towards the War Games concept. And a lot of people just saying, take this out. We don't want War Games anymore if you're going to treat it like this. And again, it just goes to show how much WWE cares about Survivor Series. As in, they don't. So, there you go. Now we just have Saturday night's main event to look forward to for the end of the year. And we are going to book the next episode of Raw as we head into Saturday night's main event. And on the show, we will give you our predictions and bookings for that episode with our booking based on these rules. Again, we might reinstate the first rule. We'll see if WWE respects the brand split after this, but we'll just cross it out for now. As for the other rules, they still apply. We will tell you our predictions and bookings soon. And after we tell you our predictions and bookings for the next episode of Raw, we will then watch the actual next episode and we will then score our predictions and bookings based on this scoring system. And then we will tell you what we get on the next episode of this show. So, without further ado, let's get to the scores. I have a 13.5 and that is just because of the appearance of Dominic Mysterio alongside the Women's War Game segment. I kind of got that mostly correct, I guess. I also had Gunther winning his match. So, and also all the participants in the Women's War Games match were there. So that's what constituted the majority of the points for me. But yeah, it was just a go home show that was kind of eh. What about you, Mike?
I got most of my points from the MFTs showing up. Um, and I also got the opening segment right with Roman Reigns coming out as well. So
Okay, perfect. All right, so let's see if we get a decent amount of points as we head into this here next episode of Raw. Starting with what is announced. Well, I think it was only one match. I think it was AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the New Day for the World Tag Team Championship. So, without further ado,
you also
yeah,
have the two John Cena tournament semifinal matches, by the way.
were they official?
Yes, yeah, because the semifinals are happening on Raw, the finals are happening on SmackDown.
Yeah, but that also could mean SmackDown next week.
No, it's this week, bro. Because
This
this
week?
week is this. Yeah, because this weekend is the 17th, and then the weekend after this weekend is the 7th, and the weekend after this one is the main event. So
All right.
it is this Friday on SmackDown is the finals for the championship. So this Monday is the semifinals, which are Gunther and Solo and Yeet Man versus LA Knight.
Okay. All right, we'll add that too, I suppose. So, without further ado, let's book this thing and get to my version of the show first. As Division walk to the ring, they boast about their accomplishment in the War Games match, however basic that might be. Paul Heyman talks about how they're gonna move on to bigger things. We're gonna have Braun Breaker chasing that gold, taking it from Punk's waist. We're gonna have Logan Paul taking care of Roman Reigns in the future, etc. You know, I guess since Logan Paul is part of the division now, I guess. And Paul Heyman addresses the masked man situation. He says that, you know, there was a masked man, he helped out. However, they're not really important. They're not as important as what's going to happen with the rest of the division. Don't worry about that. He is then interrupted by CM Punk. Punk says, if Braun wants to challenge him for the title, so be it, and that they only won War Games because they were coordinated, unlike Cody and Roman, who are still bickering even after the match. And as a result, he's probably not going to get help because, you know, he doesn't need help. And the Usos are probably doing their own thing, I guess. And then we have a brawl, and yeah, we're gonna have a brawl between Punk and Division. However, from out of nowhere, we have help from the Usos that attack the rest of the Division, and this sets up the main event as Braun Breaker takes on CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. However, Jay and Jimmy remain in the ring for the next match, which is Jey Uso versus LA Knight in the last time is now semifinals. And just like what Mike said earlier, or I should say in the earlier episodes, we're gonna have Jey Uso win by pinfall. I am sorry, LA Knight. It will be a shock if you do win. But I think Jey Uso will win this one because the Yeet Man got a yeet. Next, we move on to Dominic Mysterio having a promo. He comes out with Liv Morgan. He says that he won against Cena, who essentially just beat everyone. You know, he is the greatest of all time. He beat a lot of people. So by logic, Dominic Mysterio beat everybody. We have Liv agreeing with Dom. She says a lot of good things about Dom. You know, she says like he's hot or whatever. He says that, chicken nuggies are great, all of that stuff. They're then interrupted by Rey Mysterio. We will revisit the Rey and Dom feud that was teased earlier in November, I think. Rey Mysterio tells him he is dismayed to be his father and that he has chosen to be with someone who acts like a B word. I think this is more of a Russo kind of move, but whatever. And Dom tells him that he'd rather have her than a deadbeat dad like Rey Mysterio. I think this will lead to Rey versus Dom for the Intercontinental Championship at Saturday night's main event. It could be next week or later down the month. But yeah, I think we will do a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship between Rey and Dom, because that was teased last month, and I think they will revisit it. So there you go. We move on to Solo Sikoa versus Gunther, and I'm gonna have Gunther win by pinfall. I think we are heading towards Jey Uso versus Gunther in the finals. However boring that might be, but it is better than the alternative, which is Solo Sikoa versus Jey Uso. Who wants that? Probably no one. So I am leaning towards the more favorable match here. And good job, WWE. You have made this opportunity look like a boring, standard, out of creative ideas tournament. What a shame. This could have gone so much better. Moving on to the World Tag Team Championship match between Dragon Lee and AJ Styles as they take on the New Day. I'm going to have Dragon Lee and AJ Styles remain champions. They win by pinfall. And we're going to have the Judgment Day come out. KD McDonagh and Finn Balor. They'll brawl with Dragon Lee and AJ Styles, which sets up a tag team feud for the rest of the year. Yes, we are going to run back this feud because there is no one else on this god-awful tag team division on Raw. We then move on. Stephanie Vaquer, she has a promo about her win against Nikki Bella. She says that it is a warning to the locker room. It will be hard to take her down, but she welcomes all challengers who are willing to try to take it off of her. So bring your best. However, she will have that move that will make all the people goon, and she will win. So good luck. She's then interrupted by Nikki Bella. She says that the win at Survivor Series was a fluke, that she wants a rematch for the title. She is then interrupted by Raquel Rodriguez, who tells her that her time is up, and Raquel's time is now. She is sick and tired of Nikki being in her matches, and as a result, she challenges Nikki to a match. Whoever wins gets to take on Stephanie Vaquer. That is the match that is made official, and that is what is next. And I will have Raquel Rodriguez win by pinfall, which will lead to Raquel versus Stephanie for the Women's World Championship at Saturday night's main event, or later in the month, in which Stephanie will retain. So there you go. Who cares, I guess, but we're gonna have Stephanie retain. I think she will be champion for a while. People like her. And yeah, she will remain champion for a bit. Moving on. A bit. Quite a while. But anyway, we'll move on to the main event. Braun Breaker versus CM Punk for the World Heavyweight Championship. Braun Breaker wins because the unknown assailant, the hooded guy, the man in black, is back from the War Games match. Again, he helps out Braun Breaker by doing the stomp and doing some other stuff too while the referee is distracted. He becomes World Heavyweight Champion, and by he, I mean Braun Breaker. Paul Heyman is shocked by what happened. He rushes to the ring to raise Braun's hand. So, I will go back to the theories about who the hooded man might be. And I am willing to throw this on the hat. I think that the hooded man is not Seth Rollins. It is not revealed to be Seth Rollins. It is going to be Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho has great promo ability. He loves working with young talent. I think that he has known to always want to work with future generation of people. And Division are kind of that. They're the future sort of generation who will take over WWE after the old generation is, gone up. I think Chris Jericho will be a perfect fit for Division. He'll come back as a heel, and he can just be a spokesperson for Division and do some wrestling matches as the de facto, well, not de facto, but the ring leader of Division, working with Paul Heyman. And yeah, I think Chris Jericho will be a great fit. So that is what I think the Hooded Man is going to be revealed as. He will help Braun Breaker win the World Heavyweight Championship because it is in his interest, and by his I mean Chris Jericho's interest, that Division wins and gets on top. And next, they'll probably challenge for the Intercontinental Championship, maybe the Tag Team Championships. They got a lot to do with Chris Jericho on there. So I think that is what is going to happen with that. And for the Roman Reigns and Cody stuff, I'll reserve it on SmackDown because, brand split. They better adhere to the brand split right now. But yeah, I will have Roman Reigns and Cody on SmackDown. Otherwise, if they have it on Raw, I guess we'll have it on Raw. Roman Reigns is probably gonna be angry and say some stuff like, "I don't want to team with Cody anymore." And Cody comes out and he's like, "Yeah, you've said this for like 9,000 times, bro. I already know." And then we'll get some arguments, some brawls, some scuffles. Maybe it'll lead to Cody versus Roman again. If people want that, I guess. But I have some theories on where that might go. Any questions?
So you really have Jericho showing up here
No.
versus no.
I will have a hooded man. I will not have the reveal here. I'm not revealing.
Okay.
I'm not revealing Chris Jericho at this episode. It will be at maybe Saturday night's main event, something like that. I think Chris Jericho deserves like a big event to sort of like be in. So a major stadium show on Raw in December, maybe Saturday night's main event is where I would reveal Jericho, but I would not have him be revealed on this episode. It will just be a hooded man, and he just runs away. Same thing, same finish as War Games.
Okay. Interesting.
All right. Any other questions, or do you want to move on to your card?
No, I'm going with my card.
All right. Let's move on to Mike's card. Starting off with,
we have the Vision come out for a promo. I have basically the same thing that Bryan said, except that Paul Heyman calls out CM Punk and he says that he wants to challenge him to a title, whether that is Bronson Reed or Braun Breaker. CM Punk comes out and he accepts and he says, whichever one you pick, I'll beat him regardless. He gets into the ring, a brawl starts, and the Yeet men come out to save CM Punk. There is no Roman Reigns and there is no Cody Rhodes. So,
okay. Do you think? Do you think this might lead to Punk versus Braun? And who do you think? You think Braun is gonna get that? Get that title?
so I personally think that the first title opponent is probably Bronson Reed. I think CM Punk beats him, and then I think Braun Breaker probably beats CM Punk at WrestleMania for the title.
Okay. Wow, that's like a long way ahead. All right. Interesting. Okay. We'll move on to
AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the New Day. I think the New Day actually win this thanks to interference from Grayson Waller. I think AJ Styles going into his retirement year, they probably want to set up something for him. So this is a good way to get him off of this tag team route that he's on and get him good and ready for his retirement tour. And I think they're going to bring back the War Raiders. I think you might see possibly, because you have a couple of really awkward tag teams. Like you have, Dragon Lee, AJ Styles. Um, you have War Raiders. You have New Day. You have who else is on Raw, by the way, Brian? Oh, MFTs, kind of, right? I think you may possibly see a unification at some point. Um, because of how like low value the Raw tag team championships are, and also the fact that the SmackDown tag team champions have not been defended in like 2 months. Um, so, but anyway, I think this is a good way to get them set and give the War Raiders something to do, and possibly setting this up for what may be a draft. They usually do a draft in the new year anyway, so you might see the
Hopefully,
War
yeah.
Raiders. You might see some of the face tag teams from SmackDown get moved over to Raw, and then this will give them a heel team to go up against. So,
Do you think Chad Gable and the American Made come back? I know this is a pipe dream, but
possibly, yeah, I think they're going to do that with El Grande Americano. I don't know where they're going with him yet. Um, I think they're going to wait until Chad is healthy to go back to that storyline.
okay, makes sense. We'll move on now to
We have Becky Lynch promo. So Becky comes out. She says that she only lost War Games because her team was incompetent. I mean, look at the team they had Lash Legend in there, for God's sake. So, that team was not very good to begin with. And Becky says that she wants AJ Lee to come out here right now. She wants to fight. AJ comes out, but she only goes to the stage, and she says, "No, you know what? We're not going to do this here. We're going to do this next week on Raw." Because you know why? Because I'm tired as fuck. I had War Games yesterday or Saturday, and people already know that we beat your ass. So, yeah. And this will start their feud that will probably run through to WrestleMania, most likely.
all right. Do you think Becky Lynch goes over with this feud, or
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I don't know if AJ Lee's going to be a full timer again. I don't think she will be. So I think Becky getting over in this feud is probably a good idea.
okay? I think she took a little break because she was doing like a tour for her book, but yeah, it should be a full timer. I mean, if she isn't a full timer, then well, yeah, I guess Becky going over makes sense for sure. All right, we'll move on to
Gunther versus Solo Sikoa. I am going to buck all trends and have Solo Sikoa actually. No, it's Gunther. I don't know why anyone would think that Solo would win this one. Um, yeah, thanks for coming, Solo, but this is probably the most obvious prediction on this card. It would be infinitely hilarious, though, if Gunther lost, thanks to MFT interference. I do have the MFTs come out, but I have the MFTs stopped by the Wyatt Six, who come out and confront the MFTs and scare them off, and that gives Gunther the win. And he goes on to the finals. Maybe you book a little, funny spot between Gunnar and the scary lady, but
I like how you said
whatever.
that. Um, yeah, imagine Talatonga just intervening in the match. He just looks at Gunther, just puts him in a freaking choke slam or some shit. That would be amazing. Yeah, yeah, this is predictable as hell. I don't know why anyone would pick Solo here, but
Well, Solo
whatever.
only won because Penta got hurt. That's
Yeah,
the only reason Solo was here.
pretty
So
much. Yeah, he was a victim of circumstance, I guess. But yeah, we'll move on then to
a Dominic Mysterio promo. Dominic comes out with the Judgment Day in tow, minus Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez. Liv is out with him. They start talking about how Dominic is champion again. He beat John Cena, meaning he's the greatest of all time now. He is the king of the luchadors. Uh, And then Liv Morgan says, "Yep, the Judgment Day is back, but she has a problem. She has a problem with the fact that Raquel decided to cozy up with Roxanne Perez while she was gone and lost her tag team titles." Raquel comes out. She defends Roxanne, saying, "Hey, listen, she actually, she can go in the ring. She's actually really good. We tried our best to keep the titles, but we couldn't keep them. So, but she could be an asset for the Judgment Day." Roxanne says there's enough room for all of us here. Dom, in this whole situation, being Dom, says absolutely fuck all. He does nothing. Uh, and Liv then kind of just walks away, or they sort of leave this unresolved at the end of this promo. So that kind of seeds a little bit of a possible Judgment Day breakup, or they kick Roxanne out of the group. Who knows?
This will now be the 10,000th time the Judgment Day have teased breaking up. Thank you
Who
very
do
much.
which storyline do you think ends first, Brian? The Bloodline or the Judgment Day?
Oh, great question. I think the Judgment Day will go down first. I think the Bloodline will still go on because I think they still have a.
There are too many Tongas, to do around.
They got a tall Tongan. They got a big Tongan. They got Solo. We got the yeah Tongan. We have no Riz, Loa. Who else can they bring, man? In terms of Samoans, I really don't know. What other type of Tongan do we need to bring into this
Oh,
match?
we'll fly out to Tonga and see what we can find.
Teeny Tonga. You know how they brought. You know how they brought
He's a
Lisa.
midget Tonga.
Oh my god! Just imagine they add him to the MFTs, bro.
I don't know if you made this a thumbnail, but the other funniest part of Survivor Series here, actually relevant to this section because involved Roxanne, was
Yeah.
Roxanne giving the seat upgrade to these two people. And I told you to make this photo the thumbnail because it was so funny. Where she comes in and she's holding the ticket, and the kid, honestly, he's a poor kid. He's up there with this objectively attractive woman who is giving him something, and he is just deadpan. He's like, "Oh wow, that's great, thanks." And he looks so awkward. I mean, listen. He's a poor kid. I get it. He's stage fright.
Yeah.
All right, but it was so fucking hilarious, man.
He had to
That
like
was the
probably
funniest
act as
part of the
well.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if it was his girlfriend or his mother on the side, but she was like animated, but this guy was just sitting there like, "Wow, that's great, thanks."
Maybe he wanted Cena to present it to him, but he was like, really? You're gonna give me you're gonna give me
I
Roxanne
mean,
out of all
Roxanne,
people?"
yeah, sure. Oh, damn.
If
I
Dom
love
was in that
comedy.
situation, he'd accept that shit like
He'd
on
be like, "Nah,
uh,
man." Yeah, he would. He would.
he would. Yeah. And then Liv would be upset about it. But yeah, I okay, so do you think this will lead to Roxanne versus Liv next year at WrestleMania? Is this where you're going?
No, I think where this ends up is you probably have like Roxanne trying to, team up with Liv eventually, and they can't connect, and then, maybe there's like um a situation where Raquel has to choose between Liv and Roxanne, whether it's in like the Rumble, probably in the Rumble actually is where this happens, where she needs to choose between two people, and she ends up choosing either Roxanne or Liv, and that kind of pushes the story on a little bit forward.
All
So
right. Okay. Well, can't wait to see that happen. As for Dom's reaction, I don't know, man. He's probably just gonna move on to another girl. He's gonna move on to another girl, you know.
as is
It's yeah,
tradition.
for sure. All right, moving on to
Jey Uso, Yeet Man versus Law Knight. The Yeet Man cometh. Jey Uso wins via pinfall. Now, I was thinking that maybe Jey Uso loses here because they might play some angle where, Jay went through War Games. It's only been 48 hours since then. He's probably beat up. LA Knight didn't do shit at Survivor Series for whatever reason. So he's fresh. He's ready to go. Jay is a little hurt, maybe. But then I thought, no, this is the Yeet Man. The Yeet Man cometh, and the Yeet Man is going to win by a pinfall.
Yep. LA Knight once again, the golden jobber. So close.
This is a perfect. This is like a water type against an electric type in Pokemon. It's just LA Knight is a jobber. Jey Uso is the Yeet Man. It's pretty obvious that Jey Uso is going to win. I would like LA Knight to win, but
I do too.
I just don't see it, man.
Yeah. Or
I
else,
don't see it.
if LA Knight wins for Kishi, man, he's gonna get Triple H on his dial. Yo, Trips, what the hell, man? Yeah. Unfortunate. We are heading towards Jey Uso versus Gunther, but it is what it is. Yeah. What a predictable tournament. We'll move on now to the main event, which is
the main event, which is Jimmy Uso and CM Punk versus Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. This is a continuation of the main event. I don't have the World Heavyweight title here yet. I think this starts a potential road for Bronson Reed to get the title. I think he ends up challenging for it maybe at the next pay-per-view, which is, I believe, Elimination Chamber?
In Chicago? Royal Rumble
yeah.
is the next one, yeah.
Okay, I think he probably challenges for it at the Rumble. Either him or Drew McIntyre.
We also have Saturday Night's main event in December for
I don't think
match.
I don't think he gets it there though. Maybe he does, but anyway, I think CM Punk and Jimmy Uso win this one thanks to the Yeet Man showing up because he's everywhere and he's all what is it? He's everywhere, every place, all at once. The Yeet Man cometh, and the Yeet Man wins.
All right. Well, okay. Yeah. I was gonna say something.
It's very stupid, I know, but I mean this is Jey Uso we're talking about, and
that's true. That is true. Yeah,
he's being booked like John Cena, where he just wins because he's Jey Uso.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know, man. this insane love for Jey Uso is just insane to me. I think I'm starting to get sick of Jey, honestly. But
me too. They really need to turn him heel, but it's going to be hard for them because he sells a lot of merch.
Yeah, but like even if you turn him heel, what? His moveset's probably not gonna change. He still does the fucking spear, the freaking frog splash. Like there's, I don't think there will be any changes to his moveset. It's just probably the biggest change, which is just no eating. He's just not gonna eat. So I don't think the heel turn would work. I mean, if they give it enough story and character development, probably. But I don't think they have not at this point where they have like tons of money pouring in from 40,000 people. Did you see how bad Survivor Series was? So I don't know. I don't know what is the solution to this. I really don't. Maybe Jey Uso needs to get back to being the Usos with Jimmy and just have them go on the Raw Tag Team division and just stay there while Roman and Punk, all these other people. But yeah, at this point there's like so much stagnation in the main event scene it's just sickening, honestly. Like, we need new people in the main event scene. They're just so adamant in Jey in that spotlight. But it is what it is. Do you think Roman Reigns goes here, or do you think he will address the things on SmackDown about how he doesn't want to team with anyone anymore? Is that a SmackDown thing for you, Mike? Or do you think Roman Reigns will show up?
I think Roman stays on SmackDown. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's what we got for the next episode of Raw. And as I stated earlier, we'll watch the next episode and we'll tell you what we got in terms of our points on the next episode of this show. But until then, thank you so much for ordering a pepperoni pizza. I'll probably next week on Raw from Grapperinos. And remember, if you are down for some fresh, oven baked, crispy wrestling content, stop on by Grapperinos and order yourself some content you can grapple with. See you next time, Grapperinos.